Back again with another video, guys, and today I want to do a video, some breaking news. The guys over at Sports Card Radio are just dropping dimes lately. I mean, they are dropping bombs. Keep up the good work, guys, at Sports Card Radio. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. But they just dropped some bombshell news based on industry connections that they have. Josh Luber apparently is out at Fanatics, and that Fanatics will be buying Panini America. And just go ahead and play the video. I want to get my reaction to this news. This is encouraging, but also just a big shakeup.
Is Josh Luber, the quote-unquote chief visionary officer, is out at Fanatics. Now, it's not necessarily confirmed at this hour, but I do have multiple sources confirming to Sports Card Radio that he is out and he is no longer with the company. And this doesn't surprise me at all. Back in February, those of you that have been a fan of the channel, I posted like 3 or 4 videos back at the TOPS conference. This was either at the end of February, early March, and he was there, and he was somebody that was out there on stage for TOPS. And one of the first things he said, it was about 9 o'clock a.m. time in Arizona, and he said this was the earliest he had been up since his wedding day. And it really made me scratch my head, because every successful person that I not only know but also admire often get up very early. Now, I don't typically...
As surprising to me, and what they go on to say is that clearly there's an energy mismatch between Michael Rubin, who is a absolute go-getter and someone who is pushing companies forward. If you're that type of person, that's very surprising to hear, given that this is the founder of StockX and he created a billion-dollar company. I don't know if he said that off the cuff, again, but it's clear Josh Luber did not necessarily have the correct vision. My take on this: his first mistake was the VeeFriends partnership and Zero Cool Cards. I created a video on that. I got a ton of criticism from that, from people who are buying into that product. That's just not what this hobby needs, in my opinion. We don't need someone who is in the hobby, who is leading the hobby, who, and I've said this numerous times, who was not invested in sports cards in the mid-2000s and basically said that they were dead. All you needed to do is literally take a look at the sports card market at that point in time and see that it was in fact growing. Year after year after year, print runs were increasing, MSRPs were increasing, resale value was increasing, not at the degree that we saw during the pandemic, but it was trending upwards. So that's just a clear lack of there's negligence in terms of his philosophy at the time. Now, I'm not trying to hold people's previous sins against them. Trust me, I'm all about forgiveness and welcoming them into the hobby. But again, Luber is bringing in that culture of sneakers into the sports card marketplace, and that's just not something that I see that it is going to go well. It's going to be an old culture versus this new culture, and it's going to clash. And I think that he was just trying to force the cultures together. If he actually was doing anything outside of VeeFriends, we don't really know what he was doing as the visionary officer. Could very well have been that he had a vision, and that vision did not necessarily jive up with what Rubin wanted, or other stakeholders within Fanatics, or even TOPS, who they bought, and also Panini in this deal that's being negotiated. So could have very well been a clash of ideologies in terms of creative design and where products were going to be moving. In the end, this is a good thing. Do want to play this out just a little bit longer. I'm going to chop this up to where we're talking about Panini America and that buyout and the implications of that.
Practice that, but my kids are beating on me. Soccer sticker business, which is still a part of the parent company of Panini, but Panini America, what you're familiar with, making the football, baseball, and basketball cards, and obviously they have exclusive licenses to the NFL and the NBA, among some other key licenses as well. It looks like the deal to sell that company to Fanatics is essentially a done deal. And that is one of the major reasons why you don't see releases on the schedule for Panini after October. Now, some people have brought up that Panini doesn't usually put out release dates, more than 60 days in advance. Well, guys, go back to kindergarten and pull out a calendar and add 60 days to the end of October, and you pretty much are at the end of the year. That would be a problem for most people. Now, just because Fanatics is buying Panini, again, that is a confirmed rumor at this point, I'm sure they have to continue to dot I's and cross T's at this point, but that is not good for your breakers out there. That is not good for your hobby shops from a margin perspective, as Panini has essentially been gifting these people massive amounts of money with...
True. And this is what's exciting, man, because all of these cockroaches who have just been feasting off of product and have been getting these backdoor deals and just running breaks, they're gone. Now, obviously, this is still going to be a model that exists. It's just going to be different players at the table who are going to be holding all the cards, so to speak, and also making money. So through Fanatics' authorized breaker program, we're going to see a lot more consolidation of breaking, which is great because after all of the scandals that we've seen, and I haven't really touched on this is content that I don't really talk about, but again, my channel is geared towards other things outside of this. I may start covering that a little bit more in the future just to give my thoughts, but we have a ton of really shitty people in the hobby who are doing breaks, and I'm pretty sure that Fanatics would like to have a clean image as it relates to this because there's a lot of eyeballs on this. I mean, you can see Pat McAfee down here in some of my suggestions. He's had football players on who have admitted, man, do you watch this sports card breaking thing? It's unbelievable. So lots of people are paying attention to breaks. It's drawing a lot of attention to the hobby. You don't want people like Platinum G or Backyard Breaks doing your breaks. You really, really, really don't. You don't want box cutters being taken to kids' throats or random hits like a Trevor Lawrence Kaboom Gold not going out to the person who was supposed to get it. So this is bad news for them. Bad news for hobby shops. We all know that Fanatics wanted cards to be included in their shops, including lids. These are things that we all predicted. I predicted them a year ago that whenever Fanatics did eventually take over the licenses, that they were likely to be buying Topps, likely buying Panini because they need those licenses in order to make cards. It remains to be seen whether or not Fanatics keeps the brands that go along with Panini America or if they are just getting access to those licenses and producing cards under Topps. This will likely continue to be a relationship where Fanatics owns the companies, but the companies operate individually and potentially separately. Topps is kind of doing things on their own, and then Panini America may continue to do things on their own. They will likely need to have some unifier at the table. I'm sure that Ruben has some C-suite level of teams. That was probably supposed to be Josh Luber as the chief visionary officer. Maybe that vision wasn't something that Topps liked or potentially Panini when negotiating this liked. They need someone who's orchestrating things because under this umbrella organization and org structure, there needs to be some cohesiveness that's occurring because, again, from these rumors that I've skipped over, the rumor is that Michael Rubin and Fanatics bought the exclusive rights to the printing machines that we're using to use cards. Who would have thought that that's exclusive technology? But after all, I mean, we've been printing cards since the 1800s, basically. But apparently that's very difficult technology, and there's only a couple companies out there who are involved in that. And Fanatics now owns the exclusive rights to those printing machines, which basically is kind of forcing Panini America's hands, and that's why Fanatics went out to buy them. But there's going to have to be some coordination of efforts as these printers are going to be flowing, and they're going to be pumping out cardboard left and right, baby. Amazon Rainforest, you are in trouble because it may be turned into a Topps baseball card or a National Treasures RPA. But big news, I'm a little bit encouraged by this. It's probably one of the best things that Fanatics has done so far, getting rid of Luber. Again, I don't have anything against him personally, but I'm just not a big fan of the culture that he was bringing into the hobby and also his previous comments on the sports card hobby in a whole. So, hope you guys like this. Let me know what you all think down below. Is this positive for the hobby? Negative? Dude, Upper Deck, you're the last stand in sports cards. Michael Jordan, dude, keep smoking those cigars, chugging that wine, sign 1 or 2 autographs a year in Upper Deck good one, and say no to Michael Rubin whenever he tries to offer you $1 billion for your company, because guess what? You are the last stand out there. We don't want one company called Fanatics owning everything. We need Upper Deck to compete. You're the last stand out there. So let me know what you think down below, and we will see you next time.